A very good morning, you craft lot. I'm gonna start straight down on my mat today because I got so much to show you, so many different bits of pieces what we're gonna be using or what you can use to dress up like larger beads. These are these cats. I want to turn them into really nice pendants. I had a little play with my large heart, Millefiori heart, and one of the donuts yesterday, and they came out rather lovely. I think I really like the fact that just with like, you know, little pins, eye pins and head pins, you can turn something quite simple into a little bit more fancy. I like to make these as sort of a little bit longer necklaces, so we can wear them over our clothes, especially now in the summer when we are wearing, like, you know, little tank tops, or if it's hot, wearing our dresses, and you don't really want to have necklaces right at the top of your neckline and making you even hotter. So let me just show you these lovely materials. I will show you on the page as well. Now these Milleforiars, these are my absolute favorites. They are just so, I don't know, memorizing. They make these Millefiori beads into stringers, and it's like a glass rod. Then they put these glass rods together, melt them together to turn them into beads. It's a process which is, I suppose, a little bit longer because they have to heat it up quite a few times. So first they make the stringers from all the different colors of glass. I love them because they're so nice. Now in the string, where you can get from our websites, you get a mixed string. So you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these lovely hearts on there. Now it comes as a mix, so you could end up with a turquoise one and a blue one, a sort of an orangey cleary one, a goldy one, but it comes as a mix. So if I get another string out, it might be the colors will be slightly different, which what I really love, because once you get your strand, you will have all sorts of different opportunities to use it with your bundles. And I know so many of you have already got our pearl and crystal bundles, so you can really match the colors up to these ones. So that's one of them. Then I got out these lovely donuts. Now this is a little bit smaller than the one I made up the sample with. These are 30 ml, they're £7 a strand, but again you get loads on there. And as you can see, the direction of the Millefiori design, so Millefiori is an Italian design, originally came from Italy many years ago. It means many flowers. So you have, with this one, the flowers going lengthwise to create these lovely stripes, and the donuts, the flowers going through it, so you can see all those lovely designs. I just love it. I think they are fantastic. And because they have so many different colors in each one of those, they can go with so many different beads you have. Now the larger one I had to cut down. I only bought one strand home, and that's why I was making the sample out of it. But look at these, how special they are. And I'm going to show you how to use them. The hole goes from top to bottom. Obviously, you could go all the way through and add a bead into the middle, like Sarah did with the hematite donuts on Tuesday. But I'm going to show you how to attach with a couple of pins. So we have something at the bottom where we can attach our beads to, and create a bell at the top, and have nothing in the middle. Have this lovely hole in the middle as well. So I'm going to show you that as well. So these comes in many different colors. Let me just grab some more out of my box here. So it was on a strand, again mixed colors, so you could end up with any of the color combinations on your strand, and it's great because then you got loads to play with. We also have this really lovely cat eye. I'll show you the strand, because I've got a couple on the strand here. These are little flower beads, and they will work exactly the same as your Millefiori ones. I love this effect because cat eye got this really nice shine going through them when you, like, you know, when it's on around your neck, and it's, as you go, it catches the light. Again, a mixed strand, but I'll show you in the pearls in a minute that you can make so many different necklaces with it. Again, we got a donut, a smaller donut in this one, and we got smaller flowers as well. So there is a lot to do. With the smaller flowers, you could do, they are about 18 mil in size. Let me just have a look on the website for you. Yeah, so the smaller ones, the smaller flowers are 22 mil, the larger ones are 33 mil. So on our website, totallybiz.co.uk, if you go into Facebook tutorials, where we've been going every single day, today is the Millefiori and Cat's Eye Pendants, everything is in there. We got the bundles in there as well, I'll show you, and then why they are so great. I'm going to be using the 30mm hat pins and eye pins, and I'm going to show you how to use them as well. We're going to be creating, but you can make so much. So a strand of donut, like this Cat's Eye one's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 donuts on there. You could be making into 13 necklaces. So they're just really great feature beads, turning them into pendants in front of, on the front of your focal point on your necklace will look really, really great. Right, so the bundles we had before, and I just want to show you this one quickly. And my strands are falling off. So we had 3 different crystal bundle, which I added in there as well. I'm going to using some chain later on as well. So each one of these are 10 strands, 3 different sizes. They are just perfect because, again, you get a really good color mixture. And you can, you know, you can decide which one you want to use with whatever project. Now the pearl bundle, which I'm going to be using today, these was the 6. Oh, there's a pearl on the rogue there. This was the 6 and 8mm strands, and there's 40 strands in your bundle, which should be 50 quid, but it's 34.99. But what I want to point out for this one, because you get a huge color scheme in there, it doesn't matter what color you get in your strands of Cat's Eye or Millefiori, because they will be a color. See, I can mix it up with that navy blue. If I take this greeny one, I can use it with that green. Oh, look at this lovely yellow one. I can either go sort of a softer, this is like a buttermilky gold color. If I take my turquoise one up, there is a turquoise strand, but I have used the 6mm up already, or I can take it to the tealy, or even this one as well. So the possibilities endless. And if I pick the Millefiori again, because this one has so many different colors with it, you can use it with so many different beads on from your bundle. So this is why we want to give you a really great value with the bundle with Sarah. Oh, look at this one. This one's got loads of colors. I can use it with, I can even use it with orange, look, because it's got those little orange bits in there. So we decided with Sarah to do these bundles because we're bringing these bundles back. I think this is maybe the 5th or the 6th time we're using this. So if you got one of those, then you can, you know, we will be using them again and again and again. So you got something at home to start creating with. Right, let me just pop this to the side and get this out of the way as well. So which one shall we start with? Oh, I haven't said hello. Let me just very quickly say hello to you. Just stroll back up because I'm missing all your lovely comments. Morning, Michelle, Jenny's from Weston-super-Mare, Marcia, Margaret, Debbie, Michelle, Sue, Di, Jitty, Dorothy. Dorothy saying, good morning, these are beautiful. I love them so much. I really loved playing and creating them. Morning, Debbie. Alison is from Cape Town. Oh, she's saying it's a bit chilly down there. It's nice and sunny at the moment, but it's quite windy here where I am. Morning, Molly, Jackie, Francis, Margaret, Joe, Lucy, Marion, Carol, Leanne, Margaret, another Margaret, Annie, Nettie, Camille, Camille is saying, morning Kitty, raining again here in Wiltshire. Oh, we got some. Probably the rain is on the way here as well. Morning Carol, Linny, Alicia, Jean, Nat, Maxine, Dee, Pamela, Doris, Helen, Karen, Nat, Camille, Linda. Oh, they were saying, Linny, Brenda is waving. Hi, Brenda. Lucy's asking, can you make a beaded bail on these donuts? Yes, you can. So we did the beaded bail, when was this? Quite some time ago, I think. Sarah did that video. It was in about April time. So you could do, but you're still going to have the hole through the donuts. So if I did a beaded bail, somehow I wouldn't let the donut to sort of swivel around in the bail, how we had with the hematite donuts, because the hematite donuts didn't have any holes on them. I would make sure that I pin it to somehow to one of the channels in there, so it would stay nice and straight. And then you could attach something to the bottom as well, because there is a hole as well, so absolutely you could. Sandy's saying, good morning Kitty, they are beautiful, it's raining morning here in Massachusetts. Oh lovely. We got people from the States as well. Alice, good morning Alison. Dorothy's saying, I want them for my 60s style belt. Oh, good morning Jan, Linda. Brenda's saying a bit late joining. Right, so let me just go right down to the bottom. Hopefully, if I missed any of your comments, I will come back later on, go into the video. And Lucy's saying the bundles are great value for money. Dorothy's saying, or this, replying to somebody else's morning, Annie. Right, let's get started. Dorothy's saying it was in April, so the beaded bail was in April. Francis saying, a wee bit sun in Perth, Scotland. Ah, lovely. Lovely. I think the weather changes so much here in the UK, and I get so baffled about it because my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they do live in Spain. They got an apartment in Spain, and every single time when he phones us up, it doesn't matter if it's like winter or summer or spring. The first question he always asks, how is the weather? And I'm thinking, well, you're in Spain, you got gorgeous weather, you got gorgeous sunshine. Why are you asking how's our weather? But I suppose because the weather changes so much and so quickly here in the UK, it's always a conversation starter. Right, I'm going to show you how to attach anything to these large hearts first. You can't just use a hat pin on them. Just move this out of the way. You can't just use a hat pin on there because the hat pins we have, the largest one, are 50 mil, and I made a little sample yesterday. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is, hiding. So I made one just with the hat pin yesterday, and because the hat pin is 50 mil and these hearts are quite large as well, so they're 45 mil in size, you're only able to do a little loop on the top. Now this little loop, again, I could attach it to something else and then have you know, just the pendant on its own. But what I really wanted to do is to make a larger bail like I did with this one, so I can change my necklaces on it. So if I wanted to do a beaded chain, attaching a chain to this one, that would be perfect. But if I want something where I want a loop on the top, on the bottom as well, so I can attach it to various different things of pieces, I'm not going to use the hat pins, which are like 50mm long. What I am going to be using is 1mm wire. Now the 1mm wire, we do stock them in 3 different colors. So we stock gold, rose gold and silver. Then I'm going to show you how to do the loops. So which one would you like me to make? Let me know. We got a blue heart, we got a turquoise, but we got turquoise one there already. We got a green. Look at this lovely white with the yellow. This one is nice as well. A greeny one. Oh, this is multicolor. Look, it's got greens and turquoises in there. They all slightly. Oh, look at this. This with the orange with white. And normally I'm not a person who likes orange because I think that's just too bright for my personality, I guess. But I would wear this because it's not overpowering. There's only a little bit of a hint of a color in there. So we're saying light yellow and blue. So that one. Oh, and I got another blue here and another one. So let's do these two because I think it's a slight sort of light orange picks up this lovely color in there. Right, so to do, put these back in my box. Oops. There are beads escaping from my desk here. Right, so this is a slightly thicker wire. Now you could do with 0.8 as well, but 1 mil I think just a little bit more secure. So I'm just gonna grab the wire, the end out of this one, and we're gonna need probably about 6 inches, I guess. I'm gonna get rid of this end because that has been, it's a little bit kinky and turned. Of course you could use your wire straightener, which are wire straighteners. If I can lay my hand on mine, yes, there it is. Wire straighteners are flat or chain nose pliers where you have a nylon joe attached to them, so you can just take it up the length of your wire and it just makes it really nice and straight. So I'm just going to squeeze it together slightly and pull this up, and then it just makes our wire straighter. But equally you could just straighten it out with your hand as well if you haven't got one of these. Now I'm going to need about 6 inches, which is about 15 centimeter. So I'm just going to cut my wire from the spool. I'm going to make the top loop first because I want, as we got this little edge on the heart, it's more difficult to get in with a really tight turn. So we're going to make the top loop of the heart, then we're going to insert it inside and make the bottom one. So to do the top one, and I want quite a large loop around it, you got a couple of options to do. So you need to, when you do a loop around normally, you would take your round nose pliers, and even if you do on the widest part on your round nose plier, it's still going to be quite small. I want it a little bit bigger. So I just quite simply, I'm just going to take a pen and turn my wire around that pen. So turn it all the way around. So this way I created a large loop. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers, which they escaped on me. Where are you? I'll use this one. I'm going to hold this nice and tight, just like that. Then either you can do it with your hand, you can take this wire around. If your hand is not strong enough, or if you feel you got a better control, then grab the end of that wire with a pair of pliers, chain nose or flat nose will do, and just take this around the base of your loop. Lorna is asking, could you do the wire wrapping like you did with the gems? You could scroll wire around the heart. That would look pretty. You mean like wire wrapping all the way around the edges? Yes, you could. But because we got a hole, on the gems we didn't have a hole, so that was just a piece of glass, or well, you have them in all sort of mineral materials as well. So we got a perfect loop. Now I'm going to cut the end because I did a couple of loops around and I think that's sort of enough for me. I'm going to push these up to the top just a bit so that straighten them nice and out, and I'm going to cut this end. Now I'm going to take my flash cutters with the flash side against that little end, and if I bring it up, can you see it better? Some flash to there and cut this off. And before I go any further, I go in. I always like to do this as I go along. I go in and I'm going to tuck this end in with my chain nose or flat nose plier, just slightly pressing down and it tucking in right under that last coil. So I'm not going to get any scratchy feeling at all when I wear my jewelry. So now we are ready to insert it into the bead. I'm going to take it all the way through and pull this down. Now this loop is quite round and it's not central, I guess, so I would then go back with my round nose plier and just tweak it so I get a nice shape. Of course I want this loop to sort of be on the side of the pendant because my chain is going to go through this way. You can leave it round, or you can, I made it a little bit sort of an oval shape here, and how I did that, I just inserted my round nose pliers and just using the tip of the pliers, and I'm pulling them, my pliers apart, and that makes the shape a little bit longer. So you got, instead of a round hole, you got like an oval shape here. But that's really how easy. And now we're going to deal with the bottom. Now at the bottom, I don't want such a large loop. I just want a little loop so I can connect things to it. And I'm just going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to, with the thinnest part of the plier, I want to leave maybe about 3 millimeter there. I'm going to bend this to a 90 degree. So I'm going to need a little gap here, which I'm going to come back and wrap the wire around there. So then I'm going to insert my plier that I want to have the widest part, because I want to make quite a large loop on there. So I've taken it down to quite towards the bottom of my plier. Obviously different pliers and different sets are thinner, and some of them are a little bit thicker. It doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to take this around, bend it back around there, and we're going to do the same thing what we did at the top. You can either do it with your hands if you feel nice and strong. If not, then grab the end of the wire with a pair of pliers and just keep taking it around. Keep holding this hand with the loop right in there and just take it around with the other one. Now you can wrap it around as many times as you like. I think I've wrapped around 3 times, so that's probably enough for my to secure it. But as you can see, I filled that gap up right to the top of the pendant, and that stops this sliding up and down, and it will be a nice and solid piece on there. Again, I'm going to go in and trim my end. Going to try to get as close as I can to the pendant, but because our wire is in the bead itself now, we're going to have a longer end to deal with. And before I go any further, I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and just quite nicely tuck it in there. Keep on sort of turning it around, pressing down on it until it goes into the, or just next to the last coil. So it's tucked in and we got a nice and neat finish. So that's how you make a larger loop on the top. Just use a 1 millimeter wire like I did here, and then we can connect other bits of pieces to the bottom. So I'm gonna, because we went gold with that one, I am going to take this one because this has got nice and yellows as well. I'm gonna take this nice lemon pearls from my bundle. Ooh, look at that, that will go with both. And I'm just gonna grab a crystal which would go with both as well from my bundle. Oops, I lost some. I think this one, look at that, that will look perfect. But then if I went down a size, they got other choices as well. Oh, look at this larger one. This would look really nice with it as well. Just pop that to the side, and we're gonna create some little loops. Now I'm gonna show you how to add your how to make a loop on the top and the bottom of this one as well. Now I'm gonna use hat pins for this, and in fact we're gonna need 50 mil hat pins for that loop. I know Molly added 30 mil hat pins for the category, but for to the loop we're going to need a 51 on the top and under the bottom. I'm just going to take a couple of 50 mils. Right, let's get rid of some of these so we can really see what we're doing. Going to use these pearls in a minute. Just put that to the side. Right, so to make the loop on this one, now you have got two options. You can either have a hole all the way going through, or you can do what I did with my pendants. You're gonna come with a hat pin to both ways. So the end of the hat pin is inside there, but you're not really gonna see that when you look on it from the front. You just got a nice connection on the top and the bottom. And to do that, I'm gonna take my pin and I'm gonna insert it from inside all the way to the top. It doesn't matter which side you want to the top, it's entirely up to you. You do need to wiggle this a little bit, and that's in the hole is might be a little bit blocked. So I just came through with my pin from the top, and I'm gonna take my chain nose and pull this up nice and tight and flush. And again, what we're gonna be doing here, I'm gonna creating a wrapped loop because that's much more secure than just doing a normal loop. So at the end, about 3 mil away, I'm gonna turn my loop to a 90-degree bend. This will pull up, so it's wiggly at the moment, but once we did the wrapping, it's gonna pull up. And then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna hold it with a wider part of my pliers, or in fact, if you want this to be the top, then take your pen out again and bend it around a slightly larger pen to create a large loop. And that's it. It's gonna pull this around. I want a little bit oval shape, and then I'm gonna hold on to the loop at the top because we are working with a little bit smaller wire here, but we can still make a really nice loop. So I'm just going to grab the end with another pair of pliers because I haven't really got a long piece of wire left there to do it with my hand. So I'm definitely going to have to do this with my pliers, and I'm just keep grabbing the end and pulling this around. You can twist your bead around as well, so you can have the Jody's saying, oh, camera, it doesn't look straight where you put them in. I don't think the hole on this one is actually straight, because if you look at that one, it's slightly a little bit off center, but never mind. It's a beauty of these, because these are handmade and they hand drilled as well afterwards. Probably if I checked, every single one of them would be all right on that strand, but it's me. I always pick out the wonky ones. I think they just come to me. I'm just going to tuck the end in. So I didn't have to cut anything off here. I'm just going to cut the tucked end in. I got a larger loop at the top so I can still connect it to my necklaces. And I'm going to repeat the same to the bottom, but I'm going to do a smaller loop at the bottom. So holding my wire, I'm going to bend this. Alison is asking, my curiosity, did you study beadwork or is it a passion that you excel in? I did so many different, I mean, you should see my craft room. I got, well, even before my craft room, I used to do cross stitch, I used to do knitting, I used to do crocheting. I mean, I did knit my hubby a couple of jumpers, which was always in the back of the cupboard. Bless him. But I did so many. I did paper crafting. I always been crafting. My mum is a nursery school teacher, and since I was little, we've been always crafting and always doing something, making random items out of random materials, I guess, whatever we can find. We did do a lot of sewing, and when I was little. But when I came across beads, I think it's like sometimes you just know, and that was it. Because with sewing or anything like that, you of course you got so many different patterns, you got so many different things to use. But with beads, you got so many different textures, you got different shapes, you got different sizes. The possibilities of whatever you would like to do is just endless. So I fall in love with it, I guess. And that was me off beading and doing. I did do city and guilds in beadwork, and that was, it was before I was pregnant with Lucy, and Lucy's 13. So I reckon about 15 years ago. It's quite interesting that you refer to the timeline of your life, like, oh, it was before I had my children, or I had my boy, I had my girl, and how old are they? And then you can think back that it was so many years ago. Right, oh yeah, there is a 30 mil. So I'm going to use 30 mil hat pins and eye pins, and I'm going to turn some loops to decorate my pendants because I really want them. You're only going to use a few beads, so on a whole strand where you have like 40, 50 or 60 odd beads on the 6 mil one, you're only using a few of them at the end. So you could use leftovers. If you just got a few beads left over from a previous project, you could really, you know, or you could use a mixture of beads. That would look great as well. I'm just going to use this slightly darker crystal and this light pearls, and I think they're really gonna go nicely in with the navy blue as well, and with this lighter one as well. We're just all playing. And Margaret is saying ditto, so did I. Kitty and Sarah are amazing. Sue's saying, me too, Kitty, I had my hand to anything. I think if you're crafty, you always think, ooh, what can I create with this particular material, or what can I do with that one? Or even if when you see a pattern somewhere, you're always thinking, ooh, what if I changed, like for example, if you look at this one, what if I changed the bottom and added something different? Or what if I, you know, made a loop? Or what if I, you know, you can always have your own takes, your own designs on there. My grandmother used to, she was a chef, she was a head chef, and she used to bake cakes for weddings and all sorts of occasions for other people from home. And it's always amazed me how she can decorate all these cakes to be the same but completely different. So all I'm doing, I like to batch make these when I'm doing. we're gonna do a little bunch on one of them, and we're gonna do sort of a little, maybe a couple of little beaded chains on the other one. So all I'm doing, I like to batch make these when I'm sitting at home and doing these. At the end, you're going to have to use your hat pins, and further up, you're going to be using, Susan is saying, I'm a crafter too, lots of knitting and crochet. Oh, bless. Lucy's saying, I do lots of other crafts, but since I'm found Kitty and beading, I have neglected everything else. Lol, I'm bead obsessed. I think this is the thing, it can become, like, you got so many lovely textures and you so many lovely different colours and shapes, and you can really take, you know, you can have your own take on it. So when I batch make these, all I'm doing, I'm adding my beads to my pins, and I'm just turning them a 90-degree bend, or sort of towards a 90-degree bend, and I pop them to the side, because what I don't like to do, so to do one of them, and I'm going to show you one on with the eye pin. To do one of them, what you would do, you would put your bead on there, you would turn the top, and then you would take your cutters, you would trim your end down to the right size. So I'm not even a centimeters, because I want to mirror this loop and it's not really that big. So you would trim it down, get rid of your end, and then you would curl the end back with your round nose pliers. Now, if you go into the loop which is already made, you can see whereabouts that goes onto your round nose plier. And try to do a similar size on the other side as well, so you get a really nice and neat. I'm just curling them back towards me. You don't have to do it in one go. You can stop and you can go back and make your loop nice. Sort of rearrange it. It's metal. Now, I did this deliberately, so one loop is facing that way and the other loop is facing that way, and this happens quite a lot when you're making jewelry. So all you need to do is take 2 pairs of pliers and slightly twist your links so that both of them sitting the same way, and then you got a perfect components. And you need to make this, you know, for all of your lovely beads or how many ever you want to use. But what I was saying about batch making, so I would just have it on my mat, I would attach my pearls, I would turn it at the top and set it down, then take the next bead, turn it at the top and set it down. And I would do quite a few of these, or as many as I want to use, because I find this is much quicker for me, because I'm not picking up my pliers and putting down my pliers. I'm simply doing one sort of step over and over again, adding my beads to it. Now, if you add your eye pins, you're going to create a links with loops on both sides. If you add your hat pin, you're going to create the end, or like more like a charm with your beads. Linda is saying I was an artist and had my own art gallery studio. Oh wow, but had to give it up last year due to ill health. Beading has been, let me just click on that so I can see the godsend hobby business from me. Oh bless you. I think this is with beading as well. You can pick it up and put it down. Debbie's asking how long the items will stay in the shopping basket. I'm not really sure, Debbie. Molly, can you answer that question, lovely? Or Simon, if you're watching? One of the guys, Molly and Simon, they're the ones who are building the website. They are the behind the scenes guys, and they're the ones who are making sure, Simon makes sure that we have bundles, and he's the one who does the sort of the financial side of the business. Molly is editing the website, so she takes lovely pictures and puts the items to the website. I think I got enough of those. I'm just gonna add a few. No, actually I got them there as well. Molly's the one to make sure the website always look good. So I'm just gonna then, once my pins are all bent, and because I bent them, they're not gonna fall off, then I can go along and cut it. Now, if I use longer hat pins, I would save these little ends, because these ones probably are a little bit too short. But if you got 50, if you're using 50 mil hat pins, which then I'll just show you on one, if I put a bead through this and turn it and I cut it off, I'm going to be cutting off quite a lot of the length of the pin. So I usually save these little pins because these are perfect to turn them into eye pins. And all you would do is just take your round nose plier at the end, nice and flush. You would curl it around. You can stop and change it. And as you curl it around, it turned into a little P. And then I would go in, just turn it around and centerize my pin to my eye. So I turned the leftover hat pin into an eye pin, and now I can use this eye pin on another bead as well. So sort of you've rescued some of the materials what you had. So always save the little bits at the end, but sometimes they're too small to use and you have to discharge them. So I'm not sure how long does it stay in your basket. I think I got a feeling, this is just me talking, I'm not really sure. I think Simon have mentioned it before, that the baskets, the items gets deleted at midnight. So towards the next day, because the website resets itself. Or maybe I'm telling you complete porcupines because I'm not exactly sure. And we created a little link, exactly the same what you did with an eye pin, with the leftover materials from our hat pin. Oh, Lucy's saying my wish list is the whole website. Oh, bless. You and me both. I keep going in and adding things into my baskets and other websites as well, that I would like this and I would like that, and I get so many reminders that remember this is still in your basket and that is still in your basket. But yeah, I'm one of those people, if I like something, I want them in every single color, every single size, so I can play with and do loads of dear and wonderful things. Because the more materials you have, the more, I guess, the more artistic you can be with it. You can, you know, swap and change it and use different colors. And this is why we started the bundles on the website as well, so we can give you great value. And you can have a mixed colors or mixed sizes or mixed shapes of certain beads, and you can really create with it. Because sometimes if you, especially if you buy like a mixed color one or even a mixed shape ones, they will be colors there what you normally wouldn't buy. And I think that's the great thing about it, because once you have it, then you feel like, oh, I have to do something with it. So for example, this is not, this really lovely, I think it's called Lemon Chiffon Pearl. It's not really my color. I would not normally buy this, but because it came in a bundle, I will use it with this navy blue, and I got a lot of navy blue clothes as well. So, and then I can wear it with it. So it just makes you to try out loads of different things. And we'll be coming back with these bundles and using them. If you check out the page, Lucy's saying, yeah, they disappear when they sell out. So we're trying to, with the bundles, because they take quite some time to make up, what we try to do is make up like, I don't know, 50, 60 of them in a batch, and we add them to the website. But once that batch goes, then obviously the website is either showing zero stock or it goes off the website as well, as depending how they set it in the settings, I guess. And now, because I cut them all, I can very easily go in with my round nose pliers and just do the loops on the top very quickly. I don't have to put my plier down. I'm putting my beads down. I can build a nice little collection. And just keep on turning your loops. You don't have to turn in one loop. As you can see, I'm keep stopping and starting with it as well. So don't stretch or flex my hand too much. But I do like to, if I know I'm going to make quite a few necklaces or bracelets with this technique, I do like to pre-make my links and just set them to the side or set them to a little storage box and add them to my jewellery as I go along, and then I can just sit down and concentrate on making your jewelry. Now, if you're quite new to this and you are, you know, a newbie on turning loops, this is a perfect project for you, because we're adding a link and we're adding so many of them. On the other one, we're going to add it with a jump ring. It doesn't really matter what, you know, if the loops are not perfect, because you're not going to see them so much. So it's not like when on an air wire at the top, you can always see the loop. With this one, because there's going to be so many of them bunched together, this is a perfect opportunity to practice your loop making. That's why I think I cut it a little bit too short. But never mind, it was still all right. It's not going to be perfect, but because we're adding it to a loop, it's going to be okay. So I got loads of link ones. Let me just do a couple more of hat pin ones. And Lucy's saying, I love to be that fast at loops. Well, Lucy, this is years and years of practice. But this is why I say, when you batch making them, you probably 50% faster than if you just making them, you know, one by one, because you have to keep putting your pliers down and picking them up again, and then you're cutting your end and you're turning. So this is why it's nice to work on a nice surface. So either a bead mat or This is just a felty material I bought in one of my local shops, fabric shops. I think it was about £5-6 a meter, and it goes a long way. And because it's a felt material, once it gets a little bit dirty, it just goes into the washing machine, then comes back out, and it's good as new. So I bought a couple of meters, so I got a couple of tablecloths to use. So I've always got one on the table, and one can go into the wash if I need to. But some days I need to put two in the wash at the same time because I either had a coffee or something around it and it spilled it. Right, so just very quickly gonna trim these again. I'm sorry, I should have prepared some of these and put them to the side. But I didn't know what color you want me to do. Because yesterday, I really wanted to do that navy blue bracelet, which I will show you. I finished it after the video, but it didn't really show up on the camera very well. So I really wanted to see what color you can see the best. Doris is saying, Kitty, in the middle of the yellow donut, could add a feature bead. Of course you can. So because they are donuts, they're drilled from top to bottom. You could do the same thing what you did with hematite donuts on Tuesday with Sarah. You could add things inside them. So I could string them on and add another bead. Let me just show you. I'm just going to take a larger pin. It'll come out from the bag. So even these ones, like, see, they got a hole in the middle. So if I put this through all the way, these are the cat's eye ones. They a little bit smaller. We have got smaller Millefiori ones as well. If you just wanted to turn into a pendant itself, you could add a bead inside it. And look at that. That's the perfect size inside it. So then you would have to line it up. I like to line it up from behind it. Oops, says me, and then it rolls away. And then you need to find sort of, I'm rolling the bead around because I'm working with a wire. With the tiger tail, you can come out, add the bead on and go back in. With this one, I just add the pin. I will have the pin slightly sticking out in the middle. And then I'm just gonna put the bead inside it and roll around it until I find the hole of the bead with my pin, and then you can add a little bead inside it as well. And again, you could do the same thing for the top of this. You could just add a loop to it and have a different take on your pendant, or just do smaller pendants. So actually these ones are quite large, but you might be able to just get away with it to turn them into earrings. Just going to turn this around quickly. I love these cat's eye ones as well, and I love the flower shape as well. Just keep pulling it around. You can take your bead, turn your beader slightly so you can get out of the way. I'm just holding onto my loop, but you can take your round nose out to come from the other side, depending on which way is easier to hold it with your hand. That's it. And when I get to just a tiny bit at the end, I'm gonna trim this up and tuck the end in. So very quickly we made a very different component, because here, well, if we could have put an eye pin in there and dangled something down still on the bottom, but we added that little pearl inside the middle of this, and you could do the same for the Millefiori as well. Another long bead. Crystals, these ones are rondelles, so I probably wouldn't add I'll show you if I add the rondelle to it. You're going to have a slight little gap in the middle, so it's probably better to feel a round shape with a round bead, because with the crystal, as you can see, you will have a little gap, and if you wear it, that crystal would sink to the bottom. How can I show it to you the best? Will sink to the bottom, and then you're going to have a gap. So unless you could fill that gap with another bead, I like to use round beads. Will an 8mm go in here? Let's have a look. just too small. The 8mm is just too small, so I have to use a 6mm. The gap is just too small for an 8mm. That's it. So again, you could create, but if you use an eye pin, a longer eye pin, then you can have a loop on the top and on the bottom as well, and you can add other beads to it. So I got a little loop on the bottom, make a loop on the top, and then I can add other beads and bits of pieces to, it's become a different component. It become a component with 2 loops instead of just one. And there is my pliers. I'm just going to very quickly turn this around. I can see you having a lovely chat with each other. Lauren is asking, is the hole big enough for one of the hematite donuts? Then you could have a big donut, little donut, then a sparkling rondel in the middle too. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Maybe the smaller donut is, I think that's 8mm. You have to try it out. I haven't tested it. And again, I've taken that all the way around, so I'm just going to tuck this little end in so I don't get any scratchy feeling. Now here we got a loop at the top. I'm going to turn this, and we got a loop at the bottom, so we can attach things to this loop. So just as an example, I'm going to take this little charm I made out of that bead. I'm going to lift the end. I'm not twisting it out, I'm lifting it up, add that to it and twist it back in, and we got a lovely little bead at the bottom. And it actually looks quite good because we got a 6mm in the middle and an 8mm at the bottom, and sometimes you don't need any more, just that. Now you could create a beaded chain to go with this, so let's just stay with this one for a second. Because we created our little loops here, what I can do, I can link all these together to create a lovely chain. So I'm going to start with the crystals because I got pearls at the bottom. I'm going to lift this link, the eye of my, and add it to, and then go in with the other one, lift this one, add another one because I want to, the chains going in both directions. And then these are gonna be my new ends, and I'm gonna add a pearl next. So you could make up your own design. If I just add a pearl and add another crystal, and then you will see how quickly this one can turn into a chain to go around your neck. And just add a clasp normally as you would add to a chain with a jump ring. And close that back in. That's it. And as you can see, we can create a chain going all the way to the top. I'm going to add one more. This is going to look really good. Again, this is like, I'm not a green person, but that actually looks really good. It's quite funny because when Sarah is here, she chooses like greens and golds, and she likes navy blue as well though. And I would choose the aquas and purples. So very quickly we can create a little beaded chain going all the way to the top. You can have this shorter, you can have it longer. It depends where you want your pendant, and you can do that for any of the other designs as well. Now to create at the bottom of this, I just made the beaded chain the same as I did at the top here. I added 3 different I made 3 little sort of dangles with a hat pin at the bottom, and just any pattern you want to do, you can do towards the top. And I added all 3 of them with a jump ring to my loop because I wanted, I could have added them straight to my loop, but I used the jump ring there. So there's many different ways you can do it. And I'm going to show you this one because again, we've been here for an hour. Time flies when you're having fun. Mina's asking, can we use the donut and heart and use 6mm craft seed beads to make a necklace? Yes, you could. You could add anything you want to the top. It's your designs. I just added these chains in here because I had a couple of chains, but quite equally That's, oh no, that's a silver chain I got. I bought, because I packed, when I cleared my craft room out, I taken most of my chain back. So you know what, I'm going to do it on this, and then I can show you wearing it. So I'm taking that ready-made chain out, and I'm going to attach a chain to this one. Now to add the bottom of this, what I did is, as the loop, as we created a loop on the top and the bottom as well, I used a jump ring, just a normal 6x1 jump ring, and added them to the, I'm just going to show you quickly how to add this, and we do the chain part. So the jump ring is just a nice little circle, and we're going to do the same thing with this, what we did our loops. We're going to lift it up. So I'm going to hold it, that's that little cut is right at the top. I'm going to support it as much as I can with the pliers, twist one towards me, the other one away. Then where's my charms? The charms, I haven't finished those. So I would add one on there, on the jump ring. Then I would add the bottom of the pendant, to hook it on the bottom of the pendant, and add a second little charm. And then I would just close it back in. When you're closing it back in, you're going to come past the midway just a tiny bit, and then it will spring shut. And then we got two little ones. And I just kept repeating this and adding more and more and more, as you can see here, to create a nice little bunch of beads at the bottom. And now I'm going to add the chain to the top. And the chain, usually, you can either add it with a jump ring. Now, I do like to use jump ring because they're quite nice and easy to use. But when I'm adding a chain, what I like to do more is to use the chain as the jump ring. Because the links on the chain, they are exactly the same as jump rings. They got a little cut on them, unless if they are closed rings. And you can quite easily twist these apart. These are my flat nose pliers. Just support it again, twist them apart, add your pendant to it, and twist it back in, just like that. And then we attached it to the chain, and I'm gonna make this quite long. So because I'm making it long, I'm not gonna need a clasp on this, because I can just get it over my head. And I'm going to open this link here. So I don't like to cut the chain. If I can, I open the links on the chain, because that way you are saving some of your links. So every single time when you cut your chain, if you are then cutting a link so you can cut it open, you are losing length. And I'm just like to open and close them. Ooh, all of a sudden we just had some clouds come around that side, and that's it. I just added a long chain to it, and I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to put this on and show you how nice they're going to look. And I can see your lovely comments as well. Margaret's asking, Kitty, are the pliers on your website? Bought 5 different sets, and they are not very comfy to hold. The ones you are using look small. Right, so I got, oh God, probably about 4 different plier sets. The ones I like the most, let me just pop this phone down. The ones I like to use the most, well, there's 2 of them. I love these ones. They come in like a little pouch themselves, and got, I think, 9 different tools in there. This is quite pricey, but ends of them are quite petite, and they're quite small. My children do tend to borrow them on a daily basis. There is another one from the set as well. So they are quite nice and fine at the end. But I really like these ones as well, because these ones got this really large handle. So if I'm batch making things, and these ones are not, let me just find them on the website for you. Oh, Molly, can you pop a link in for this one? These are you get 5 different one in a pack, but because the handle is nice and big, if I'm batch making things, I prefer to use these ones because they're much more comfortable for my hand. So if I want something petite one, I use these ones because the ends of these ones are much smaller. So making earrings and stuff like that, for batch makings, I want the big handle ones because they are really nice and comfortable. Right. So this one, I added quite a long chain. I did another clasp because I can just get it over my head, and I just, that's actually quite good. That's right length. So I just wanted this pendant to be right sort of underneath my bosom, I guess. And it's just really nice. And if you're in the summer, when you're like, really hot, you don't want a lot of things up around your neck. You just want something, something little, and then you got a nice little decoration. But equally, going back to this one, added this one to this chain. These chains are the stainless steel chains, and they are available on the website. I think this is the longest one, because with this one, this has got a lobster claw clasp on it. You can change it to a magnetic clasp if you like. This one is a little bit shorter, so this one's going to sit. It's probably not the best with this top. It's going to sit a little bit up, but because I got these ends added to it, it's still going to come over my top and go down. So I really like this one as well. But you could do, you could do any lengths you like. You could add the, I shouldn't have closed it. I should have just holded it up, didn't I? You could add any lengths you want. But because I made this quite a large loop, quite simply, I can pull this chain out and add something else to it and just use it as a pendant. It looks nice, but I am one for stripes. I love this. But then you could do it with the cat's eye ones as well. Look at these flowers. How stunning would this look with something coming out of the bottom of it, adding further beads to it, and on the top as well. There is the navy. So I need to get a bit of a gold chain for it, and that would actually look good, really nice with my top as well on the blue. I can make a bead. We can make a beaded chain. Where is that little one? So this would look really nice as well, sitting on there with a little beaded links. Obviously you need to make them longer, but you could equally make them longer, or you equally just do like maybe 4 or 5 inches, and then just do chain to make it quicker on the back of your necklace. Oh, Jodie's saying, make a zipper pull with flowers. Yes, you could do that as well. With the smaller ones, we could do earrings as well. They're all on the website, the smaller flowers. I love these. I love this colour as well. So I'm probably going to make an earring for me, because I haven't got many dark and black earrings. The most of my earrings are either white or blue or turquoisey colours. And I had a black one, but I broke it. So I'm probably going to make an earring out of that one later on today. Sue's saying the blue is such a good match to your top. So that's it. You can really bling these up. And because they come on a strand, I know they're on the pricey side because they're £7 a strand, but they are, each of these are got thousands of little flowers in them. They're just really perfect to work with, and you're gonna make so many feature beads out of them. They look great, and because they got so many different colors inside them, you can use them with so many different colors as well, so you can really spruce up. And if you have something like that which has got green in there, but because it's got blue and a bit of turquoise as well, then I could wear this with a blue top or a turquoise top as well. I really do love them. Look at some of these larger ones. They're just really gorgeous. So do check them out on the website. Please share our videos, because we are really grateful for every share to get more people interested in the crafting and show them really how easy it is to make something really nice. I think I'm going to wear this necklace today, so I'm going to put it back on. How easy it is to make something, and we do appreciate every single time when you share, because we can sort of get around the world, and it's really mind-blowing that little me Kitty from in a little old England, sometimes rainy, sometimes sunny, I can get around the world, and we can inspire so many people. Joey's saying, can you tell where you bought your top? Looks amazing. Well, this top, I bought it in Hungary. This is my Batman top. As you can see, it goes out. I bought it in Hungary about 2 years ago, and I really do love it. But it's quite very summery underneath it as well, because it hasn't really got a sleeve apart from this little thing. It's something different. I really loved it. There was this shop, my friend said she's got a 35% off voucher, but she doesn't want to use it anymore because she's been back 2 times, and every single time she went back, they given her a 35% off voucher. So off I went to these shops. They tops were like 10-15 quid. They weren't expensive really, and I bought like, I think about 6 or 7 tops. I thought, oh great, I'm gonna have a really good deal on this. And I got to the checkout, and the 35% off was not from the whole what you bought, but only from one top. So there you go. That was, and I got a few other ones what I bought in that shop. They quite nice. So that's it for me today. Do check out our website and the offers we have on there. Some of these Millefiori ones are on offer. So instead of £7, I think because my case is magnetic, all my pins are sticking to it. So instead of £7, they are £5. The large hearts is instead of £8.50, they are £6. So you can really have a look and have a little play. The pins are in there as well. The bundles are in there as well. The crystals and the pearl bundle. Have a look what you fancy. Have a little play. But whatever you make, do pop a picture up in one of the handmade groups, because I really love to see what variation you come up with, because we're all different people. We look at life differently, and we look at shapes, and we look at, you know, maybe you would have added different color beads, or you would made a different bunch. I really want to see what you can come up with. I really love this project, and because I just love these hearts so much, they are really, really nice. So have a lovely day today. Tomorrow I'm doing the tile bracelets, which they were just here. Bear with me, I'll grab it for you. So we're going to be stitching tile beads, super duo beads and seed beads together to form a lovely little pattern. I did get them out, but then I was packing up because I need to go into work after this, and then put them back in the box. They create a really nice and amazing pattern, very easy as well. So this is what we're gonna be doing tomorrow. And on Saturday we're creating another longer necklace as well, because summertime I'm really into sort of longer necklaces. We're gonna be using acrylic roses and seed beads, and if you got bead spinners, they're gonna be a really great help as well. So yeah, and Sarah is going to be with you on Sunday. She's doing wirework bangles, and they look really great as well, because I seen a sample last week. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a lovely day, stay safe, and keep on crafting, keep on beading. Bye.